Well, hey there, welcome to Izzo's Place. So, Thirsty Thursday, I don't know if you saw the short, but I managed to score a Maker's Mark. Very reasonable price. This was $50. Normally it's $69.99, and that could vary, of course, depending on your market. This is one of their private select whiskeys. Of course, my new lighting rig is too bright, so we're going to have to work on that. It's all a work in progress, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, it's one of their private selections. If you keep track of stave profiles, it's a 42004, which if you know what that is, you know what that is, and if you don't, I'll explain it sometime. I've probably explained it on other videos. This is from the Soho House, and I don't know what that is, so we're going to look that up while we're tasting this. It's 109.6 proof, so it's kind of like in that sweet spot that I like. I kind of like, it seems like a lot of my favorites, and this isn't, you know, there's exceptions to this rule, but a lot of my favorites are from like 107 to 115. This was bottled in November of 2022, and I think that's why it was $50. This, for some reason, was sitting on shelves and they weren't selling it at the regular price, so I got it for $50. And that's a huge score as far as I'm concerned, because a lot of these Maker's Marks, I honestly, with these private selections, I haven't been disappointed by a Maker's Mark yet. So 109.6, 54.8 alcohol by volume. Okay, so I'm gonna do a nosing and a tasting, but I'm not going to give you any notes yet. I'm just going to get it in the glass and let it open up for a little bit. Then we're going to look at the bottle, and we'll look up Soho House and see what they are, and talk about that for a little bit, let the glass open up. Then we'll go ahead and drink it finally. Mostly classic Maker's Mark notes. But we'll, of course, talk about all that. All right, let's look at this bottle first of all. So Soho House members private selection. So the stave profile, 4 of the, it's hard to see. Where's my flashlight? I guess we'll use my phone as a flashlight. Must have taken my tape measure. Wait, dummy. I'm looking around for my tape measure, forgetting that my tape measure is still on my pocket. All right. So they've got 4 staves in here of Baked American Pure. They've got 2 staves of Seared French Cuvée. They've got no Maker's Mark 46 and no Roasted French Mendant. And thanks to, I believe it was House Bourbon or Deck Night on the Rocks for letting me know how to pronounce that. And then it's got 4 staves of Toasted French Spice. Now they each of these come with a little booklet on it, so you can look at this on your own. But so that way you don't have, in case you're not feeling like running out and buying a bottle of Maker's Mark, I'm going to read it to you. I can't remember. I've got some long reviews of Maker's Mark out there. I can't remember if any of them includes reading of the little card. The little stretchy thing is in the way, so we'll get rid of that. There we go. Okay, the process. Okay, so what they do is, if you have a big enough whiskey club or a company or a YouTube channel, my YouTube channel's not big enough yet, but please share this out, and maybe we'll get there someday. Or if you're a liquor store, you can go and pick a barrel of Maker's Mark to buy with the intention of selling it, obviously. So sometimes they'll let you come in and they'll let you pick the stave profiles you want. I'm paraphrasing it, or maybe we'll call it Izzo phrasing this instead of reading you the whole thing. So they pick 10 staves. They give you your choice of 5 different ones. It has different notes that it'll give. So the people that did the Soho, which we're going to look up in a moment, whatever the Soho House is, we'll find out. Hopefully it's not some horrible organization that I shouldn't be supporting, but we'll see. I got the whiskey cheaper than usual, so there you go. So with the 10 staves of 5 different types of stave, they say there's 1,001 possible stave combinations. So that means if you actually go and you pick yourself a barrel and you pick the staves, you're probably going to be pretty unique. I don't know how many barrels they've sold, but you're going to be pretty unique. And even if you somehow find one that has the same stave profile as you, could be totally different, because whiskey's funny that way. Okay, let's see. So it gives different, let's talk about the staves then. So this one had, let me double check. So the first one, it had 4 staves, 4 of the 10 of Baked American Pure 2. Delivers notes of light sweet honey and vanilla with a soft oak finish. Okay, so there's 4 staves in there like that. There's 2 of the Seared French Cuvée. Seared French Cuvée enhances the texture and mouthfeel with warm caramel notes, molasses, and a long finish. That sounds awesome. All right, and then there was no Maker's Mark 46 or Roasted French Mendant. So let me read you what those are, though, even though there's none in here. So if they had used those, the Maker's Mark 46, designed to impart rich hints of dark fruits with long finish of baking spices, and the French Mendant imparts hints of milk, chocolate, dried fruit, nuts, and coffee with a long, rich finish. Which, that's interesting. There's none of that in here, but on the neck pour, I was totally getting chocolate. So we'll see if I get chocolate today. I'll try to wipe my mind mentally. Doesn't that sound weird? I'll try to see what I can do about that. Okay, and then there was 4 staves of the toasted French spice. Brings out crisp sweets of ripe fruits and zesty baking spices. So that sounds pretty delicious. All right, at the end of the video, I will figure out what stave profile Izzo would do and let you know what that is. See, part of me, there's 5 staves, and there's 10 staves you can have in there. Part of me says you get 2 of each, you get all the flavors, but we'll be more refined than that. We'll think about the tastes, and we'll pick something that someday I'll get myself a barrel of. All right, anything else on the front? Maker's Mark, private selection. They, of course, got the cool wax symbol and the drippy wax top. Always love seeing that. What does this say? Bottle number, and I can't see it. Hang on. Oh, okay. So out of this barrel, and there's some other numbers and letters here that I don't know what they mean. I'll have to try to look them up someday. But it's bottle number 132 out of 252. Okay. Let's look at the back. Finished with hand-selected staves. At Maker's Mark, we create a wood finishing series to explore unique expressions of our signature Maker's Mark bourbon. Officially crafted by my grandparents in 1953. So this is Rob Samuel writing this, supposedly. Our private selection program allows for our loyal fans to customize their own barrel with 10 hand-selected oak staves. This creates a very rare bourbon measured by the unique tastes imparted by the combination of oak staves. Just as our signature bourbon reflects the taste vision of my grandfather, each barrel represents the thumbprint of our guest makers. Enjoy! Rob Samuels. Distilled, finished, and bottled by the Maker's Mark Distillery Incorporated. Star Hill Farms, Loretto, Kentucky, USA. Government warning. Drinksmart.com, makersmark.com. We got a laser code. That's fun. I'll have to figure out what their laser codes mean. Well, L2322. This was done in November of 22. MMC 094081225. I'll have to look up the laser codes and see what the laser codes mean. A lot of brands have laser codes. It mostly designates, like, when something was bottled, and there might be a range of laser codes because some of the, well, this one's a private select, so it's got to be a single barrel. But if you're doing small batches or even larger batches, if they've got a laser code, that might tell you, like, when in the process of the dumping and the bottling the thing happened. And every once in a while, you'll see someone on YouTube saying that a particular laser code is better than others. And I don't have anything to say yay or nay about that. I'm just commenting on the phenomenon. Do. So let's go ahead and get into these notes then. Then we'll talk about what barrel Izzo would do. Now, I actually have, and it's not only mine. I'm a Maker's Mark ambassador. I get a free pin every year. I get some other gifts during the year. It's not anything super special. You can sign up to be an ambassador. But one neat thing about being an ambassador is you get your name put on the side of a barrel that's being aged. My barrel, hey, let's check on my barrel real quick. We'll let that sit in the glass just a couple more minutes. Oops, is the phone dead? Nope, not quite. Pretty soon though. 17%. No, I'm good. All right, let's go to Maker's Mark. I did get an email from them. I got some sort of gift coming up. Let's find out. Let me just give you a rundown. So yeah, you can sign in. So I can sign in as an ambassador. They know I'm over 21, so that skips the usual, are you 21? Okay, so I've got my name along with a bunch of other people on the side of a barrel, and it's kind of neat. You know what? I'll make sure I put a picture at the end of. Oh, by the way, SJG Collectibles, not a sponsor, but a great guy. If you need any paraphernalia, especially sports or comics, movies, TV shows, go check him out on eBay. Thanks, Vince. Thanks for the hat. Where was I? Oh, so you can have your name put on the side of a barrel. It's not only your name. There's a bunch of other names. I don't know how many people they put on one barrel, but there's a barrel somewhere at Maker's Mark that says Izzo on the side of it. And when it matures, which they estimate it to mature in 2028, 2029, me and the other people on the side of that barrel apparently get first crack at buying products from that barrel. So obviously, we're going to do some content. You just got to wait 3 or 4 years for it. I feel like how I looked at my watch to tell years. That's weird. Yeah, 4 or 5 years, and we got it. So step 1, inscribing and filling the barrel. That's the first week. So your new and freshly charred barrel is filled with clear 110 proof liquid. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize. And your name has been added to the outside of the barrel. Then step 2, checking for leaks. So that's after 2 weeks. Your barrel's been filled, inspected for leaks, and has been laid down in the top of the warehouse where it will live for the next 3 years. Step 3, after 2 years. So they've already done this, so my barrel's at least 2 years old. I can't remember when I... All right, let's see. We're in 2024. I think I signed up in 2021. So my barrel's 3 years old. So yeah, 2 years they did a quality check. Your barrel's looking good. It's been quality checked for leaks, and our team is sure that every drop is still in the barrel. All right, so we haven't gotten here after 3 years, but really, it should be close. Like probably January, February, they should be sampling it. So step 4 is sampling the bourbon after 3 years. Our team has pulled a sample from your barrel, and is starting quality testing to check to ensure it is ready for the rotation process to begin. And then step 5, rotating the barrel after 3 years and 2 months. Congrats, your barrel's been rotated to the bottom of the warehouse where it will continue to mature and develop our classic maker's flavor. Step 6, perfecting the taste after 5 years. So for 5 years, this would be 2026, so 2 years from now. Our team is testing your barrel for the perfect taste because we age to taste, not time. We will continue to sample every 6 months until we determine your bourbon is ready to be bottled. So, Maker's Mark Ambassador. I don't say my name on stream very often, Christopher Pietrantozzi, but I'm Izzo to you. So we're 2 years, 11 months into the process of around 8 years. Okay. All right, just checking. All right, we don't need to see anything else there. So that's kind of the process. So you can go through. So I did one barrel at Izzo. I wonder if I should sign up under my real name, or I have several YouTube names stashed away for possible future channels involving whiskey. So if I ever want to try to start something else up or with a group of people, I've got some stuff available. So maybe I should get ambassador barrels in those whiskey names. That would be kind of fun. Maybe I'll do that. All right, but finally, let's go ahead and get to the tasting. Okay, yeah. So classic Maker's Mark notes. I always get cherries and vanillas on Maker's Mark. That's what I get. It's a wheated whiskey. It's a little sweeter and smoother. And with this bottle, even though it looks different, you know, the bottle shape's completely different from your standard Maker's Mark. But with this, the whiskey in this bottle, what they do is they age their Maker's Mark until it's ready to be bottled in the normal bottle. Then for these private selections, what they do is they pull the top ring off the barrel, which allows the oak staves to open up a little bit, but not enough to like spill everything anywhere. And then they toss the toasted oak staves of whatever configuration. Like, so if you see Maker's Mark 46, that's a particular stave that they developed. Okay, so that's the only problem. I can't flash you paper stuff as easy with the new lighting. We'll have to work on that. Anyway, so like Maker's Mark 46 has 10 staves of this one particular stave in it, and that's what is it Rob Samuel? That's what Rob Samuel liked for his Maker's Mark 46. So anyway, back to that. So they'll open up the top of the barrel, which I don't know if you knew this. It blew my mind when I first learned that there's no adhesive in a barrel. An oak barrel is held together by those metal bands, and just the normal expansion of the wood as it gets wet, it expands. So it kind of swells up, stops any leaks, but there's no adhesive holding that barrel together. I imagine if there was, I imagine that could taint your whiskey if they're putting adhesive in there, especially because when they were inventing bourbon, any adhesive they used would have been a hide glue. It would have been made out of horses. So that can't taste good in a whiskey. I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe we should build a barrel that way and see what it is. Anyway, what was I talking about? Okay, sorry. Going off on tangents. Anyway, so they pop that top ring off. They're able to work the barrel open just enough to get the head out, or the lid, the head, it's called. You might call it a lid if you're not familiar. They get the head off. They toss those staves in there in the combination that's been requested. Put the head back in. Pop that ring back on. Lock that thing down, and then they keep it in their cellar warehouse. They've got one particular warehouse that is partially inside the side of the hill, and that creates a natural cooled environment, so it doesn't get extremely hot there, so the whiskey ages a little slower in that and allows the wood to give it some of its characteristics. So that way, that's how we end up with these wood stave programs. And let's see, can you see it in the video? No, I don't know where it is. So I've got their... Oh, there it is. Let's see. Oh, you can't see it. Let me grab this thing. Okay, up there. That's a Maker's Mark. That's their 2024 Heart release. So that's another stave finished Maker's Mark whiskey. That one's very good too. So did any of that make sense? Please put in the comments if I'm confusing or not. And if you have any further insight, I know there's a couple of bourbon watchers that watch me. If you have any insight on that, please feel free to add or correct to what I've been saying. Where was I? So many tangents, and it's late at night, and I've been working hard. I got no brain left. Where was I? Let's do notes. Consistency, that's what we were talking about. So Maker's Mark rotates their barrels through their rickhouse to get as consistent a whiskey as possible. And I can't argue with that. And then, unlike other companies that will find like particular barrels that would be a single barrel, something that they find to be fantastic and they put it out as a single barrel release, Maker's Mark will do this wood finishing program instead. So every bottle they make, they take it to as close to that Maker's Mark taste that they're looking for. And then with some of the barrels afterwards, they add these wood finishing staves. Whether they're making their Maker's Mark 46 or if they're making their private selections, that gets aged for, I can't remember what the tour guide said. It might be just 6 months, might be longer. And then there's things like their cellar aged where they leave that in there for another 4 years or so, 3-4 years in the cellar. That was interesting to read on there. I didn't realize their proof only goes in at 110. That's neat. Yeah, so with the consistency, I get some of the normal notes I would get on a regular Maker's Mark. I get some cherries, I get some vanillas. It smells very smooth and light and easy to drink. Not light, smooth and easy to drink. And because of the stave program, I'm getting chocolate. And I don't think they had any of the staves in here that would normally produce chocolate notes, but I'm getting chocolate. Chocolate and a little honey. Chocolate, honey, cherry, and vanilla, and some like toasted barrel. Just like a very light, smoky, very light toasted smell in the background. Okay, that's interesting. So it went into the barrel to 110. It didn't lose a lot of proof. It only lost like 0.2 proof? 0.4? 0.4 proof in the process. And that's the interesting thing also with the barrels is, depending on evaporation, proof can shoot way up or the proof might come down a little bit. I don't know exactly how that works. I'm going to have to do some research for you. So, I think it's always there. I don't notice the caramel on Maker's Mark usually, but I am definitely getting just a bit of caramel in there as well. So, chocolate, caramel, cherries, vanillas, oak, char, toast, something like that. It's really nice. So it's got a nice mouthfeel. It's not super oily, but it's far from thin. It's right there. It's in the middle. It's in the middle ground of the mouthfeel. It's got a pretty long finish. Let's go ahead and name that back down. Presentation. Show. Let's be a real YouTube channel, Izzo. Got a pretty long finish. I mean, I'm still kind of feeling effects. So as far as the palate goes, it's really sweet on the nose, and some of the sweet notes come over to the palate. And I'll talk about specifics later. But it is more spicy on the mouth. Like initially, like there's some sweet initially, then almost right away, it's mostly spicy with sweet, kind of taking a backseat. As far as the spicy goes, it's like baking spices. It's not like taco spices. So it's always good to differentiate those two. And I will get taco spices in some ryes and bourbons. Usually weird ones. No, just kidding. And actually, like the Sazerac rye, I will get a little bit of taco spice on the finish. And then I've got a fiddler, and other fiddlers that I've tried are very sweet and very caramel forward. And I've got a particular fiddler at home that the only time you want to drink it is if you're eating chips and salsa, or if you want to make it into a Bloody Mary. It's wonderful in those two situations, and it's confusing if you're drinking it by itself. All right, so let's go back in. Second nosing, second tasting. And I'll let you know if anything changes, and I'll give you better notes on the palate. So, second official nosing, because technically this is my third. Second official nosing, I'm getting more of the spice. So it's matching more of what I tasted on the palate. The sweet aspects are still there. The chocolate is very reduced on this second nosing. All the sweet aspects are a little bit muted, and the baking spices are more forward on this second nosing. As far as what baking spices, I would say it's lending towards cloves and nutmeg, hint of cinnamon. And they're trying to be more prominent. So when I'm swirling around my mouth, normal. I got little caramel, little vanilla, baking spices. When I breathe in like you see me do, which is a technique that I first learned in Italy, learning to taste wines. I think they call it chewing the wine. So I'm going to say chewing the whiskey. So if I'm chewing the whiskey, if I'm introducing that air into it, that's when on the palate I actually still get those chocolate notes. So that's kind of fun. So I kind of breathe in on the whiskey, still swirling it around the mouth, and I get those chocolate notes. It sticks to the mouth. It's kind of cool. Long finish. Not much of a hug, but I'll be honest, this is not the first pour of whiskey I've had. If you're into whiskey and you want to have a nice way to collect your, to record your collection, that's what I'm looking for. If you're looking for a nice way to record your collection, I use OnlyDrams. It was developed by Trenton Tyler from SLB Drinks, and I find it to be a nice, easy-to-use app. You can actually scan barcodes. They've got tens of thousands of bottles scanned in. If you do happen to find a bottle that doesn't have its UPC code scanned in, then you can submit a picture and let them know what the bottle is, and then they'll go through and approve it or drop it, and so you can help them out in that way. If you do that, you can find my Ohio collection under Izzo's place, and you can find my Florida collection, this one right here, under Izzo's Florida place. I've got 2 accounts there. They're free to set up, so I might set up one other because I've got a few bottles at my personal house in Ohio. I don't have a house, I have an apartment. So I've got a few bottles at my apartment that aren't included in the Ohio collection at the Speakeasy. So I might sign up for a third one. And if I do, I'll let you know. But you can find a link to OnlyDrams in the description if you wanted to jump on there, if you've got your own whiskey collection, or if you just want to jump on there and spy on what I have. And if you want a sample of anything, heyizzo@yahoo.com, and I will set you up a flight, or I'll send you samples, as long as you prove to me that you're 21 years of age or older and you're in the U.S. I don't know about international shipping, so I apologize. My international viewers. I don't know about international shipping, but email me anyway, and if I can figure it out, I'll send you something. You can add cloves to the spices. I'm getting just a little bit of nuttiness, which I didn't get before, and I don't usually get on a Maker's Mark. But it might almost be like, because there's a chocolate note in there, it might be like an almond or a peanut. Like I might be thinking of either peanut M&Ms or like a Hershey bar with almonds. That might be it might be triggering like a smell memory. But I do like it when new flavors show up. So this last time, bringing the air into the mouth, getting the chocolate, but this last time, the cherry was more predominant. So got kind of the effect of a chocolate-covered cherry. That is tasty. So, in my opinion, take my opinion with a grain of salt. It's just an opinion. So if you see one of these, and you see it for $70 or less, in my opinion, this is a buy. Grab it and taste it. And if you hate it, email me and we'll talk about it. Maybe I'll buy the rest of the bottle off you. But in my humble opinion, anything that looks like this usually is tasty. The newer style of bottle, let me grab it. You know what? Let me grab a regular too, so you can see all the styles of bottle that they have. Sorry, it might take a minute. Oh, it was right behind there. Okay, so this is the Maker's Mark 46 regular. I don't think it's a cast strength. No. 47% alcohol, so that's what, 94? So there's your regular shaped bottle. Sorry. They always have the wax, though. You always see the wax. Let's see if I can hold them all. So the story supposedly is, I can't remember what his name was. Was it Bill? Must have been Bill. So I think Bill was the father. Rob is the current guy. I'm pretty sure. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So Bill wanted to transition to this shape for their special whiskeys, and apparently Rob hated this shape. So right before Bill retired and handed it over, he apparently ordered like 2 million of this bottle. So Rob's been forced to try to sell this bottle to get it out of their storage because he didn't want to waste it, and that's understandable. So we have this bottle, the old original standby. This was for their special releases, and then this is their current special release, which is kind of cool because if you look at it, it's almost like a compromise between these two. It kind of has this shape and this shape, boom, to this. So in my opinion, if you see either of these two shapes, and you can get it for $70 plus tax or less, I think it's a good buy. Now, if you come across any of the ones I've reviewed and you like the way it sounds, I don't think I'd be willing to pay $100 for a Maker's Mark. But if I knew that I liked the juice in it, I might go to 80, 85, maybe 90, but not sure about that. And of course, I'm on the hunt for a cellar aged. If you ever see a cellar aged in your market, email me at heyizzo@yahoo.com. Maybe we'll work something out. Don't mind me, I'm just drinking some ginger ale. All right, that's all I got to say. Oh yeah, we were going to look up Soho House. So let's see what Soho House is, because I don't know if it's a liquor store or an organization, or if it's a liquor club. SohoHouse.com. It's some kind of club because the only thing that's come through so far on the internet is it says membership at the top. A home for the world's creatives to come together and belong. Apply for membership. The houses provide a home away from home for members to eat, drink, relax, and have fun in our clubs, spas, gyms, pools, and screening rooms. Membership types. Alright, so it's some sort of club, and let's see where their locations are. They got some in United Kingdom, they got some in Europe, Middle East. Alright, North America. Soho House, Nashville, New York, Malibu, Chicago, Los Angeles, Miami. That makes sense. Gulf Liquors was in between the Keys and Miami. Canada, Ontario, Canada, Los Angeles, New York, Texas, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Cool. Oregon, Miami. There's the Miami again. New York. Okay. And then Asia, worldwide, Mexico City. Okay, so it's some sort of club. Apparently they ordered a whiskey. Let's go to our story. Looks like it's a rich person hangout. If you're in the Soho Club, don't feel offended. It's fine. They don't tell much on their story. They have an app. I could download the app. So it's a lifestyle app. House Foundations. The website's not... Well, it's the mobile version of the website. The website's not great, but it's the mobile version. Join houses, bedrooms, wellness, book, news, shop. Let's see how much it is to join. So we got the Soho House, Cities Without Houses, Soho Friends, Soho Works. Yeah, it's club spaces. I am probably not joining, but we clicked on it anyway. Uh-oh. They want me to sign up on my stuff, but I want to know how much money they want. Alright, I'll do this another time. Just for fun, and I'll report back. Maybe we'll make a short out of it. But in any case, that's the review for today. If you're working, please work safely. If you're drinking, please drink responsibly. But do everything with a little bit of whimsy, and you're going to have a good time. And I'll see you next time you're hanging out at Izzo's place. ahead and get this into the glass. So we're gonna nose it and taste it. And it's not we. I don't know why I say we. So I'm gonna nose it and taste it, and I'm gonna let you know. No, and then I'm gonna not give you any notes on the first one. Let's restart this. Editing Izzo can fix it.